Now, President Trump has made his new choice to head the Federal Communications Commission, and it's not good. Mashable is reporting that Aji Pai, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, who served as an FCC commissioner since 2012, has been selected by President Donald Trump as the next chairman of the Federal Communications Commission, where he can decide whether or not he wants to kill net neutrality rules. So this is not good. Now, knowing what we know about this guy, he is likely to end these rules. So net neutrality, I don't think it's going to be around for much longer. Now, Pai, what's interesting about the choice of Pai is since he was already a commissioner, his appointment can begin immediately. That's it. So there you go. He'll be filling 2 open slots for FCC commissioners, all but guaranteeing a Republican-leaning FCC, which of course is not going to be good for consumers, but fantastic for corporations. Now, Mashable states that Pai has been such a staunch conservative regarding government regulation and was among the loudest voices to come out against the FCC's move towards net neutrality, on the basis that it wasn't legal per the FCC's powers. Basically saying, no, you don't have the power to make sure that we have a free and fair and open internet. Can't do that. That's not within our purview. We should leave it up to the corporations to decide, or no one should decide, and corporations should do whatever they want. That's essentially his thing. And actually, he also argued that the new regulations would actually be harmful that are regulating the free and open internet. He said it would reduce incentives for companies to expand broadband networks. And he actually penned a 67-page dissent against the FCC's ruling that concluded with, quote, "The threat to internet freedom has awakened a sleeping giant. And I am optimistic that we will look back on today's vote as an aberration, a temporary deviation from the bipartisan path that has served us so well. I don't know whether this plan will be vacated by a court, reversed by Congress, or overturned by a future commission, but I do believe that its days are numbered." And boy, was he was right. Because now he's there. He's going to be controlling this. And so now we know exactly where he stands, what he's going to do. It's not an if that he's going to roll back freedom on the internet. It's just a matter of when he's going to do it. So again, let me break down his statement for you guys. To him, the threat to internet freedom is a free and open internet. That's what it is, man. Basically, the rules that say that an ISP cannot slow down a website while not slowing down a different website is those rules are unfair. Keeping the internet equal for everyone is somehow unfair. And see, what these rules prevented is giving larger companies an advantage over smaller startups on the internet. If you're a smaller company and you get charged this fee because your internet is slowed down and you got to pay a fee to get back into the fast lane, well, you're not going to be able to afford that fee, or some companies might not be able to. Netflix can, which by the way is for net neutrality, as I'll mention later, along with a lot of other big companies. But still, Netflix can afford to pay it. But someone like me, for example, I can't afford to pay that. I can't afford a fast lane. And when you have a fast lane and a slow lane, and everybody who can't pay gets in the slow lane, well, or all the small sites, I should say, get into the slow lane, and the fast lane is filled with all these larger companies that can afford to pay this toll. Well, where are people going to go? If my page is slowed down and nobody's like, man, I'm not going to wait 5 minutes for this fucking thing to load. I'm going to go to somewhere else. I'm going to go to CNN. I'm going to go to MSNBC because at least I can see what they're doing, instead of waiting 5 minutes or whatever, however long for this page to load because it's on such slow internet because it can't afford the faster internet anymore. And that's the problem here. That's one of the biggest problems. So if you're a small business or a consumer, under this guy, you're not going to be protected anymore when they eliminate net neutrality rules. Now, Pai is considered to be the most qualified person to roll back regulations. And that gives you an idea of why Donald Trump and the Republicans love this guy so much. Now, that said, I give you a lot of negative. Tiny slice of hope. Tiny. Any effort to change the previous FCC actions will end up being met by intense legal action. See, back when we actually won net neutrality, we had the people on our side, and we also had large multinational corporations. We had Netflix, we had Google, we had 150 different internet firms of various sizes, all opposing eliminating net neutrality. Now, hopefully, those same companies that we joined with before will come back to our side as well as the side of the American people, who see this as the ending of net neutrality rules as a big con job and a gift to giant corporations. But even with that, even if he can't get rid of the net neutrality rules, he could just simply choose not to enforce them, or at least not to enforce them aggressively. He could decide not to look into possible violations of net neutrality. So either way, there's going to be some impact. It's going to be bad news for people who believe in a free and open internet that actually fosters innovation and competition. This is something that they don't like. They don't want this competition. The people at Comcast don't want competition. And they want more money. So basically what his appointment is a giant victory for people who despise internet regulation and internet freedom. That includes, in this instance, a lot of telecom companies who stand to lose money. You've got AT&T, Verizon, and Comcast, as I mentioned, who've been fighting against the FCC's net neutrality rulings. In fact, when it comes to them, man, they are not only are Republicans ecstatic, but so is Comcast. You've got here a quote from Baron Zoka, president of Tech Freedom, one of those Orwellian names, which is basically a think tank that advocates for less regulation. Now, there's regulation that makes sense and there's regulation that doesn't make sense. Net neutrality makes sense for a free and open internet. Now, he said in a statement, quote, "There's no better pick to reform the agency and restore its independence and integrity." Pai has already laid out an agenda that should command bipartisan support on a wide range of issues. Yeah, bipartisan as in, oh, you've got corporate Democrats over here and Republicans over here that just can't wait to have the internet companies take over and, stifle and destroy a free and open internet. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. Comcast also said, this is a terrific appointment for the American consumer and the companies the FCC regulates, and we look forward to continuing our work with Chairman Pai in his new role. Higher internet choices, higher internet prices and less choices. Oh, goody. I can't wait. This is what we're going to have under Chairman Pai. This is the future of the internet, folks. And it's kind of looking bleak. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent, non-corporate media, go to our Patreon page and become a patron. Patreon.com/TYTNation.